So, hello everybody, and welcome to our SoulFull Sunday series again, where we are showcasing the talents of wonderful people, the length and breadth of London, UK, and the world at large. As you know, with the pandemic at the moment, we can't have our in-person events, so I thought I'd bring the exhibitors to you. And today we've got the lovely RenaKydd-Williams, who's going to be talking to us all about her skin products from the Caribbean. So I'm not going to hang around and say any more about me, and I'm going to jump straight over to you, Rena, and say, hi, how are you?
I'm very well, Cheryl-lya, very well, coping very well in lockdown, very busy, and using every spare second of my time to be imaginative and innovative.
Fantastic, that's what we love to hear. So Rena, can you tell us a little bit about these lovely skin products, where the idea came from, how you evolved?
Well, I can give you the backstory, which is that I am an eczema sufferer. And for many years as a child, I have had every steroid you can think of. Steroids that are probably carcinogenic, steroids that change your skin color, steroids that probably change the composition of your skin, simply because I am what they call atopic, which means I'm highly sensitive. So certain things that I eat, stress, you know, maybe even some soap detergents can cause me to have a skin reaction. And when I was much younger, I was, you know, covered head to toe, patches of eczema, dry skin, very scaly, scratchy. This started from birth. I had what they used to do was bandage you from almost head to toe, little tots, to stop me from scratching, because I would roll to the side of the cot and I would scratch away until there was very little, if at all, any skin left. So what had happened, obviously being treated medically here in the West, I had a period of time in the Caribbean. And it was during that time where we had a lot more homely remedies to use. And some of the things that we were using quite frequently were things like cocoa butter. And when I came back from the Caribbean, I started to use the, I won't say the brand name, but there are bottled cocoa butters, because I was of the opinion that that would have been the same effect, or just as pure, just as nice. And it's only until I started looking at my skin as a conscious teenager, you know, when you are very aware of how you look, I started to reminisce on those natural products, and I did my homework. I started to get pure products, the aloe veras, the cocoa butters, and, you know, it did really well for my skin. And then I remembered that my grandmother actually worked on an old plantation back in Grenada, which had now been recommissioned with the local cocoa farmers and a German chocolatier. And I thought, what better way to support my island than to start importing something that is so natural, so pure, and so beneficial. So my products from the Caribbean are not just because they're pure and they're good, but they're also creating jobs, creating sustainability in relation to the makers. It's bringing their product out to a wider market, and they smell good and do good for your skin.
Wow, that is just such a fantastic journey and story, because yeah, just hearing from you as a baby, you know, and what you've gone through, and looking at you, and I must say you're looking fantastic.
Thank you.
But also the fact that not only that journey that you've been on, your personal journey, but it's spread out to help so many other people around the world. You know, and it just goes to show just how powerful.
Absolutely. I mean, I must say, obviously with carbon footprint, because I'm an importer, you know, there are these journeys that are being made. But I do, wherever possible, use recyclable envelopes, paper. I ask people in my brochures to reuse everything they possibly can from my packaging, to try and do a little bit better. But of course, as I said, importing means that there is that travel. But it's spreading the word. It's doing loads of good things, and people, they still don't believe me when I tell them how severe my eczema was and can be.
Yeah, and that is, you know, I mean, obviously the carbon footprint, you know, we're all doing the best we can with that, and it's very clear, you know, you are being sort of one of the more responsible importers, which is fantastic to hear. But also that sort of that sense of personal empowerment that that gives anyone who's using your product. And you know, I know, because I've used that. You know, I don't have you know, any sort of skin condition, so I know how wonderful, soft and silky they make me feel. So I can just imagine somebody who's you know, who's got a condition, how wonderful.
Absolutely. One of my taglines is, if you invest in me, you invest in the Caribbean. And I think people start to think about how we in the West, how we trade with our Commonwealth partners. You know, I think the Commonwealth have taken a bit of a hit, especially in times of the Europe debacle, and you know, who the West are more favored and who they're not favored. You know, we've got to think of our Commonwealth partners. And of course, my parents are Windrushers. So, you know, I have that allegiance because, you know, of the recent issues that Windrushers have faced. I have that allegiance that we've taken the very best out of the Caribbean, and then, you know, we don't want them anymore, or we discard them. So I'm trying to create that harmonious link back with the Caribbean. And that brings me to another point, because within my work, I've been recognized by the Grenada Tourist Authority, and they have sponsored me in many ways. We've done joint shows together. They give me information packs that I can send out with my products. They give me tourist maps. And so just by doing what I do, it's not just about sales, but it's also about promoting the Caribbean and as a destination, if people wish to travel, explore, and get back to nature, because we are still very lucky that we have a lot of nature and naturistic surroundings.
Absolutely beautiful. And you know, just sort of thinking, if somebody wants to get in touch with you, or to get their hands on some of your absolutely fantastic products, how would they get in touch with you?
Sure. Well, the best way would be through my website, and that's all the W's, rconsultancy.org. They can also follow me on Instagram, and that's info_rconsultancy1. I used to have a Twitter account, but I decided to delete it because I wasn't doing as well on Twitter as I thought I would. I was simply copying over my information from Instagram onto Twitter. And I think I just had to make a decision. I can't be all things to all social media platforms. So I've stopped my Twitter account, but I also have a Facebook page, which is Grenadian Cocoa Butter. So if you look for our consultancy, Grenadian Cocoa Butter, the Facebook page should pop up.
Fantastic. And it's just, it's just so lovely, because, you know, sort of, there's so many different threads that you're bringing together, you know, in the work that you do. As you say, it's not just for the love of the product or for the sales, but it's a community, and it's not just the community here in the UK, it's the community across the globe.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's funny, a lot of people think when they experience the cocoa butter, the first reaction is, this smells like chocolate. And I say to them, well, it is. It's the chocolate fat that we exclude when we're drying the cocoa bean. The cocoa fat is just a natural waste product. So how well have we recycled the whole cocoa pod, you know, even the fat we are using? So yeah, it's a whole 360-degree journey.
I just, oh, I wish there was more time that we could, you know, there's so many times, maybe for another interview for another day.
Another day, absolutely.
But just before we sort of finish off today,
Mm-hmm.
if there was sort of one pearl of wisdom that you could give people watching this video today, what would that be?
Okay, well, it's quite timely because the 17th of August, we celebrated Marcus Garvey, and he was a great communicator. He believed in education, he believed in writing, in publishing, and I also, my day job, I'm an academic, so I think education, publication, reading about what you're doing and what you would like to do, I can't advocate that enough. So I think what you're doing, Cheryl-lya, is amazing by networking, by giving people a platform to speak and to encourage others, especially entrepreneurial ideas. That's amazing. So my word of wisdom to everybody out there, and my friends and family know this saying so well from me, is one hand cannot clap. So we must do things in partnership, and we must formulate some bonds to help us all along our journeys.
That is absolutely beautiful. I love that. One hand cannot clap.
Correct.
Absolutely. Rena, thank you so much for your time today. It's been fascinating. I feel like I've been to the islands. And
Oh, thank you. Please do visit when you have a chance after lockdown.
absolutely. And, you know, everybody, you rewind the video, get Rena's contact details, get in touch. There's so much on offer and so much. I've tried the products, they're fantastic. You know, get your hands on some. And Rena, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much, Cheryl-lya. It's been a pleasure.
Take care.
Bye.